there! Welcome back to the Ultimate Decades Challenge with the Walter family. It is currently 13:05, and right now, before harvest starts, Hugo and Osbert are having breakfast and a little bit of discussion about his future now that Sybil has passed away and he is no longer married and no children yet. They were able to get a cow after collecting of funds last year, so that's really exciting for them to be able to have their own milk and dairy products moving forward. And then right off the bat, it's harvest. So Osbert, hard at work, will go ahead and roll for next season's soil, and we got a 1. So we are going to have poor soil next season. Ida is the one who's taking it on herself right off the bat to take care of the cow, make sure that she is clean and socialized, ready to be handled. After harvest and being, exhausted mentally and physically, Osbert headed to the local tavern to grab a drink, stopped and sat and chat with Miss May, seeing if she knew of any eligible young ladies, since his father was getting on to him to find a new wife. Ugh, stresses him out to even think about that. But why is she getting into a bar fight instead of helping him? Hugo came down to the bar to find Osbert, pulled him aside, said we need to have a chat real quick, hug it out, this isn't bad, it's all because I love you. I've been doing some talking to the other farmers and men around town, and there's a couple young ladies I think you should meet. We're gonna set it up so that you can see them, chat with them. While they're hanging out, Ida is just looking at the view. And one of the neighbor girls, one of the Smith girls, came over and decided to chat with her for a little bit. She's seeing if maybe this daughter would be a potential match for Osbert, but it looks like she has some difficult times in her own life at the moment. Maybe they wouldn't be a good match after all. At the tavern, it's starting to get late, and Osbert is not doing well making friends and keeping his head on his shoulders straight. After one more drink, it looks like his brother-in-law Milo is coming in to keep an eye. Back in the Mannering household, we have a couple of birthdays happening. Ralph has his toddler roll, and it looks as though he got a 16. And as a reminder, these are the numbers that I'm using. Going by that and Plum Bob's in the past rules, Aaron does automatically age up to infant since he passed his birth roll. And Rosa is also getting to age up today. And the next morning, as penance for his night at the bar, Osbert handled milking the cow. Ida and Tobias spending their morning hanging out together while cooking, trying to stay warm as the temperature steadily drops outside. Hugo joining them. I feel like he would be giving her the rundown of how his chat with Osbert went. And then Trader Jacques came. It was time to try and sell some of their goods and crops yet again. Since it's so cold and the ground is very hard outside, Osbert and Hugo went back to the tavern again, trying to get him connected to a good match. It's looking like Osbert has interest in Miss May, not the one we've met, her sister. And they're hanging out, Mortimer Goth yelling at them. but it doesn't seem as though it's really moving forward. They're getting along all right, but not seeing a spark. However, one of the Smith girls, Cassidy, she's been welcomed into the conversation, and they seem to hit it off pretty well right off the bat. Spend a little bit more time together. She's creative and loyal. He thinks she's very attractive. So he decided to get away from the bar with her and actually go somewhere a little bit more quiet where they can talk to one another, get to know each other better. And very quickly, they decided to try and be a little bit more physical. They're definitely hitting it off quickly. Oh no, there might not be as much natural compatibility in the long run if they're already getting into arguments. Maybe they'll be able to work through their differences. Aww. Cassidy gave him a gift, probably an apology. When he got home, he sat down to have a late dinner with his mom and dad, tell them how everything went with Cassidy, and I'm sure Hugo is probably like, alright, well, that's good enough for me. She's eligible age, she's ready to get married, we can go talk to her parents and get everything arranged. Just do us a favor, go hang out with her for one more date, and just verify that when you haven't been to the bar, you're okay with marrying her. Okay, so it's now time for him to hang out with Cassidy sober, no alcohol involved to cloud his judgment, and reading on whether he wants to propose to her or have an arranged marriage. So they decided to go somewhere outdoors, enjoy the fresh air, talk to one another. It looks like he's trying really hard, and she's interested, but not super enthused or excited. But it could just be that she doesn't feel great, and not necessarily be anything personal. Oh no. She did not want his advances. So, trying to do a little bit more of a friendly activity, see if there's room for them to be maybe not the most romantic partners forever, but if they can work well together and appreciate each other's company, that could also work. Because Cassidy is not terribly young herself. She's about 21, and Osbert, of course, is 24 now. So, after the snowman building, she thought about sitting and immediately saw one of her friends and decided to just dip out and, forget Osbert, let's go hang out. I need to talk to you about this guy. I can't believe I almost agreed to marry him. And as they walked away, Cassandra Goth is walking by, and there's definitely an immediate attraction on Osbert's part when he saw her. So, of course, he had to chase her down and find out, who she is, where she's headed, figuring out that he doesn't really know about her already because she is from a much wealthier family in town. She normally would not have been wandering through these woods, but she just really wanted to take in the scenery and go see the ocean. We have a lot in common. It looks like they both are enjoying each other's stories. So, since it was starting to get late, he invited her to come back to their place with him until an escort could arrive to take her home. Aw, Osbert went and found a flower to give to her.
Oh, hipsa. Brabwadita. Ha ha. Tevene.
both trying to be attractive for one another. Now, Cassandra is also just turned 17, so she's on the young side for marriage, but is still eligible, and she definitely is smitten with the dashing young farmer, helping herself to a little bit of food. Bet she could look forward to learning to enjoy that recipe from Ida. And it seems like they're both on the same page about how to live day to day. Yes. Appreciate the aroma and the flavors. Osbert is getting really animated. It's been a while since he's been excited and happy. And it looks, yep. Cassandra is bringing out his romantic side again. And he thinks she is extremely attractive. So as we get to the end of 1305, it is time for Tobias to roll for being a child. And since he got a 20, he makes it. So we say goodbye to toddler Tobias and hello to child version of Tobias. Our first Gen 2, well, he's not Gen 2. Our first child to actually survive to childhood. It looks like right off the bat, we're not having the best relationship with our mom or the best behavior. Hugo kind of stepping in, talking about proper how to treat his mom and how he needs to behave. Now that he's getting old enough to actually help around the farm. I'm sure he's also talking to Osbert about needing to go propose to Cassandra soon. Ida is still having to do laundry, even though it's, winter and cold and snowy. So hopefully she doesn't get sick moving forward. And then Osbert is going to go check on the chicken coop because we should have an egg that is ready to hatch. Oosh. Out of the way, chicken. Conkaroo. And, it worked. It's adorable.
Oh, not so cheap. Mwah.
Time for Tobias to start helping out. His first task is to go and make sure that our cow is nice and clean. Make sure she's fed and happy. And then over at the Goth household, Osbert greeting Cassandra and immediately starting to talk about adult future and children, and it's not scaring her. She's totally on board. She loves music, and he got to actually see her play a little bit and dance. Followed up with some cozy chatting. A lot of flirting. Aw, he's even just thinking about her when they're talking. Ooh. Hearts and rockets. And Cassandra doesn't like bugs. Talking about war, energy levels. Oh, she finds him very attractive as well. So these two are full speed ahead, very attracted to one another, ready to jump in. So Hugo is finally going to try to request permission to arrange a marriage between, Osbert and Cassandra. And it does not look as though Mortimer is going to go for it. It's really not surprising. They're way, way, way wealthier than Hugo's family is. So it's not a good match, especially if they were planning to use Cassandra to try and start working their way up higher into potentially nobility. But I'm sure they're not expecting anything untoward to happen. Looks like Bella saw Hugo come in and they're immediately lamenting to one another that their daughter even wants to try this and going in to make sure that nothing happens. Joining everybody in the kitchen, I imagine Mortimer's trying to kind of just talk those two down, make his thoughts and opinions very clear. Oh, and he is not happy with them. Cassandra needs to take a minute, but Osbert immediately defended her against her father. And when she came back, oh, I don't think that Mortimer's chastising and threatening worked. I think it might have pushed them closer together. Yep, so he couldn't wait anymore to wait for permission and arranged marriage. He decided to just propose and let Cassandra make her own decision, whether her parents like it or not. So, they're being cute, excited, they're both so happy, but Bella was not having it. And Ida is trying to talk to Mortimer, see if he will reconsider, and it is very clear they are not happy. But Cassandra is over the moon, it looks like. She's just young and starry-eyed and in love. Over in the Wood household, Beatrice and Arnold are taking in the nice, crisp winter air and having the view out over the ocean, telling crazy stories and having deep conversations with one another. Baby Rosa is asleep while they're hanging out. Max is playing in the toilet. Very much like a toddler. In the Mannering house, neither Alma or Milo are feeling their best, but they have to take care of baby Aaron, and Alma is actually in her second trimester of pregnancy, so we will definitely be seeing at least one new baby in 1306. In the Mannering household, we're ending 1305 with one child, Aaron, still alive and one on the way. In the Wood household, Beatrice and Arnold have 2 children at the moment. They have a toddler, Max, and an infant, Rosa. We don't know if they're going to have a baby yet. There is a very promising end to their story for this year. And in our main household for the Walters, Ida and Hugo are still both with us and very much in love, taking care of their now child, Tobias. He is now 6 years old. And Osbert has decided to throw convention out the window, not get an arranged marriage or find someone in the peasant class, and he has professed his love to Cassandra Goth, who has accepted him, and they will be getting married next year and trying to start a family right away. Hope you enjoyed this season and can't wait to see you in 1306.